In this excellent book, Pleasure Activism, author Adrienne Murray Brown outlines 4 different approaches to period sex. And they are: Team Bloody Awesome. The people who get it, they know how to treat you during your period, and they know how to make love to you while you're on it. Team Bloody Fetish, lovingly referred to as vampires. These are the people who love period sex. Team Bloody Skittish. These people don't have enthusiasm, but they don't necessarily run away either. And then Team Bloody Faint, and I quote, "These lovers would prefer that God had not smote the vagina with an affliction as dire and dramatic as monthly bleeding." I can't say it much better than her, so I'll leave it to the experts. There are different opinions on period sex. I am of the opinion that you should be having it. People have periods. Usually that's like 1/4 of all of the time. Like I have a period about 1/4, 25% of my whole life is spent menstruating. And I don't want to take 25% of my whole life off of sex, or at least I don't want to have to. That's too much precious time that you could be getting it in, and I am here to tell you exactly how to do that. Hi, I am sex and relationship coach Caitlin B, and this is why you should have period sex. The number one reason that you should have period sex is because it decreases cramps. And the number 2 reason is it improves mood. Now, those are both true for the person having the period, but what about for you, the person who's having sex with the person who's having the period? Well, period sex can be awesome for you too. It can open up all new channels of sex and sexuality. You've got this thing happening that's like built-in lubricant. Her body's more sensitive. Her nipples are more sensitive. She might be going through a different phase of sensitivity. There's a lot of possibility for you to enjoy and explore and get into if you know how to do it correctly. And there's a couple things that you absolutely must keep in mind in order to make period sex successful. The first most important thing you have to keep in mind is increased risk of STIs, blood transfers, sexually transmitted infections, and if she's on her period, if it's heavy, then there could be a lot of blood. So if the two of you are not otherwise sharing fluids, make sure that you're using a condom, a dental dam, some kind of barrier to make sure that you don't increase the chance of you coming into contact with blood. Number 2, something to keep in mind is she can still get pregnant. People who have periods can still get pregnant during their period. Even though there's a lower chance than when they're, say, ovulating, there's still a risk. And so you need to use protection and keep that in mind. It's not a free pass, so to speak. And as I mentioned earlier, the needs of the person having the period, the needs of the woman having the period are going to be a little bit different than they usually are the other 70% of the time when they're not menstruating. And I'm going to teach you exactly what those are so that you can plan ahead. So let's get into it. As with all great sex, great period sex begins with a conversation. You need to discuss with your partner what her specific needs, wants, and desires are, and what's going on. Is this day 1 of her period where the flow is really heavy and there's going to be a lot more fluid? Or is this day 4 or 5 where things are really, really light and you might not even notice that a period is happening at all? This is only information that you will be able to get from her. So starting with a conversation that at least clarifies where she is and what she wants will be really helpful. During that conversation, ask her if there are parts of her body that she does or doesn't want touched. For a lot of women, their low back becomes really sensitive and sometimes it can be in a lot of pain because of cramping in their uterus, in their womb. For other women, nipples and breasts can become really sensitive. For some women, that means that they like to have them grabbed and you can be more aggressive than usual. For other women, that means being more tender, soft, delicate, using a lighter touch. And the only way that you'll be able to know is by inquiring. After you know her needs, wants, desires, and limitations is the best time for you to give her permission to be messy. The number one thing that I myself have experienced when it comes to period sex is that periods are so much surrounded in shame. Like, you might even be watching this and going, there's no way that I am having period sex. That is disgusting. Women are unclean or dirty when they're having their periods. Women are not unclean. They're not dirty during their periods. There's nothing wrong with them while they are menstruating. This is the blood that makes life. Like, this is the way that all of us came into the world. It's not necessarily a bad or a dirty thing. And you acknowledging that, saying that to her before you get started, saying, hey, I'm okay. I'm okay with whatever happens. I'm okay if blood gets on me. I'm okay. I'm recognize what I'm getting into, and I'm a big hell yes to having sex while you are menstruating. That means the whole world to us, gentlemen. It means so much for a partner to say, it's okay. I don't care. I know. I'm in it. I'm here for you. I want to please you. I don't care if I get a little bloody along the way. I cannot overstate this. It is so meaningful to have your buy-in. It can erase decades of shame for you to just say a couple words that are really heartfelt and really meaningful, letting her know that it's okay. All right, moving along. How do you set the scene to have great period sex? Well, number one, don't have the nice sheets on the bed. Don't throw the white sheets on the bed. If you've got some burner sheets, put those out. Put the old sheets, the messy sheets, the tatted sheets. And if you don't want to, or her flow is too heavy, you can throw a towel down, or you can invest in something like a Liberator mat that's a brand. I think Thinks also makes a black mat. They're absorbent, they're waterproof so that no liquid can get through to the bed. You put that down first, or something that's black, something that blood is not going to show up on. And that way it's not going to be distracting for you while you are sharing this encounter. Number two, if either one of you is squeamish about seeing blood on your bodies, turn the lights way down low. This is a great opportunity for you to get out a couple candles, put them by the side of the bed, make sure that they're not going to get knocked over, and go to town in the dark. Another thing you might want to have nearby is a washcloth. If either of you are worried about having period blood on you, having a wet washcloth or even some baby wipes or something nearby can be really helpful for if you feel or you need to wipe off really quickly. If that's going to give you peace of mind, by all means, set it up. Give yourself whatever you need in order to actually relax and get into the moment. Have all of those things nearby you so that you don't have to pause and get up and walk away in order to get the things that you need to feel your best. And finally, after sex, make sure you check in with your partner. She's in a vulnerable state. She has her period. She might have some bloating. She might feel bigger or less attractive. Myself, my face always breaks out. I always have tons of acne during my period. She's already vulnerable, and she's additionally vulnerable because you just had sex. So it's the perfect time for you to make a point of cuddling her, holding her close, telling her how much she means to you, how special of an experience that was, thanking her for connecting with you, sharing her body with you during this vulnerable time. I don't mean to overplay it, but this is really important. If she's not feeling vulnerable, she might just let you know, like, hey, cool, it was fine, it was good for me, thanks. But if she is, this will mean a whole lot to her and can be a really connecting moment for both of you. So that's how you have period sex, but I wanted to add a couple more pointers or things that you might want to consider. One is have period sex in the shower. Like I'm a Scorpio, I'm a water sign, I'm like a water baby. I love pools, hot tubs, you name it. I love being in the water. And one of my favorite things to do is share a shower with someone that I'm already intimate with. There's something so nice about the hot water, touching both of our skins, the experience of getting to bathe each other. You can make this into a whole ritual. So if you're particularly squeamish about blood or you just really don't want to deal with it in the bed, have sex in the shower instead and then rinse it all away, and cleanup has already happened before you're even done. Another thing to keep in mind about period sex is it's a great opportunity to take things slow. Now, most of the time women already state that they would like for their male partners to move slower when it comes to sex. And since her whole body, metabolism, everything feels like it's already moving slowly and things are already more sensitive, it's a great opportunity for you to actually move slowly throughout the whole sexual experience. You might want to stick to positions like missionary to prevent things from getting everywhere, slapping around. creating splatter, so to speak. So this is a great opportunity for you to be face to face with her, to be moving slowly, to be kissing and making out and gently squeezing her breasts. This is the best opportunity for you to get into an actual love-making, connecting experience, because you don't want to be changing positions a lot. She might be in pain. She might be bloating. You don't want to be like moving around, doing doggy style, creating splashes. It can happen. So use this as an opportunity instead to be sweet and tender and to make love to her body in a way that really honors this experience. To recap, period sex. You should have it. It's got tons of benefits. Not only are you not sacrificing 25% of every single month and making that the dry week, forget that. It also feels good and it reduces cramping for her. So there's benefits for both of you. It also comes with this like natural lubricant. It allows you to have a different kind of sex than you would be otherwise having. Do keep in mind that it increases your chances for STIs, and you are not at a zero risk for pregnancy, so you still have to take pregnancy prevention precautions. Finally, put some dark sheets down or a towel, or invest in a fancier liberator, or maybe just move the whole thing into the shower and take the opportunity to make sweet, tender connection with her. She will appreciate it forever, as much as she will appreciate you giving her absolute permission to just be messy, be bloody. You love her anyway. It's music to my ears. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, please subscribe. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, please do follow the link below to apply for coaching. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.